Thanks, Natalie. Following on from our opening chat with Facebook, as Natalie says, we're going to take a look at what a league and a broadcaster are doing in terms of fan engagement. We're going to show some examples. We're going to discuss where fan engagement might go in the future. With me today are Alexander Altenhofen, who is the Director of Product and Technology at DFL Digital Sports in Germany. He will be concentrating on the Bundesliga. And Guillaume Collard, Managing Director of 11 Sports in Belgium and Luxembourg. Guillaume is also the 11 Group's Chief Rights Acquisition Officer. His focus would be the Belgian Pro League. Thank you to you both for joining us. Let's start with some fundamentals, if we can, so that everyone in the audience knows what we're talking about. Alex, what do you define as fan engagement?
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Will. So I would say when I look at fan engagement, I would say a very broad definition is that basically interactions with our fans through our various own channels like the broadcast signal, our apps and website, but also looking at our operated and social platforms and of course third parties, so the channels of our clubs, the channels of our broadcasters like 11 Sports, Sky, ESPN, and our partners channels. But for me, I think this definition is not about something tangible. It's more about a certain feeling, a certain vibe that we have when you reflect on a football game that you have attended either in real life or virtually, and the bond that you have to this event and to the atmosphere. And we, as a league, as the Bundesliga, we want that fans are a substantial part of our match days, regardless of where they are located. And therefore, we want to deliver a very authentic and personalized view on and off the football pitch.
Thank you very much. Guillaume, why is it important? What purpose does it serve?
Thanks for having me. I would only say something which is complementary to what has just been said. 11's mission is to be by the fan for the fan since day one. And it starts with being, accessible everywhere. And it seems sometimes a bit, theoretical, but I think for us it's really the basis. So most of the time we buy rights like Bundesliga on an exclusive basis, but then the strategy is to be what we call platform agnostic. So of course we will produce traditional linear channels that want to be distributed everywhere. But since day one, digital was really key to us. So we do have our own OTT service, through which we are able, to offer very flexible pricing schemes because we have, we know it's very important to the customer to be very flexible. And more recently, in order to have a broader range of tools and platforms, we acquired MyCujo, which is a worldwide digital platforms, which will be rebranded into 11sports.com. And also we launched a sister company, which is called Live Now, which is a pay-per-view platform. So being everywhere, being able to offer flexible pricing scheme and flexible options is really the basis. And then it comes with, making live emotions, because sports is emotion, like what has been said. And it starts with this, of giving access to content and then building the steps to make sure that there is an emotional link between us and the fans.
Thank you. Sticking with you, Guillaume, has COVID-19 affected, or shall we say moved the goalposts on fan engagement, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think it's a general statement to say that it has changed the initial plans. When we look at 1 year ago, when we acquired, the local league in tough times, which the contract of more than 100 million a year. So and it was the first time for 11 Sports Belgium that we had those local rights. So we really wanted to show our footprint, which we have been successful with now. But it definitely changed the plan, and we wanted the fans to be in the center of the production. We want to interact with the fans at the stadia, and obviously it was not possible. So we obviously optimized, but I think it gave us the opportunity to reinvent ourselves as well, to integrate the fans in another way. For instance, by asking questions live during the match on the screen, so you can see the question of the fans, the commentators answer the questions. You can vote for the man of the match. And so I think we managed to partner with the clubs to provide, more exclusive content, more behind the scene, in order to give additional flavor than just the live broadcast of the match. So it changed the plan, but in the end, I think we made a better product, and it will be even better when the fans will be back into the stadium.
Definitely, 100%. Let's move on then. Let's talk about your work. Let's take a look at some of the things you've done. Let's start with Alex. What have you been doing recently that has been successful, and why?
Yeah, I think one project which we're working on over the last few months were the Bundesliga match facts. And why I've chosen this example for this session today is because I think it perfectly underlines the uniqueness of the DFL, since we are basically the only big football league who cover the whole value chain. And we call this our glass-to-glass strategy. So starting with the glass of the camera lens within the stadium until the glass of your TV or your smartphone. And for this Bundesliga Matchfacts project with our official technology provider, Amazon Web Services, we want to give deep insights to every match, into clubs and player statistics, and tell then news stories on broadcasts, on-demand content, but also on our digital platforms. So everything here is based on data. And in the example you see on the screen, you see our Bundesliga match fact called X goals and goal probability. And there we have developed a model based on an AI service on AWS, where we calculate a metric on 3.7 million data points within every game. And by calculating metrics like player speed, angle, distance, etc., we are then able to calculate the goal probability. So we look at the probability of every shot that this shot will turn into a goal. And so looking into the historic data of the last 10,000 Bundesliga games, we are able to calculate those metrics in real time. And then you see it 2 to 5 seconds after the goal has been scored. You see the goal probability on your phone, so within the Bundesliga app, or within the broadcast signal within the first replay. And it helps us not only to support our live engagement, also support us in having our post-productions. So here you see the most unexpected goals. So goals with a very low percentage, but turned out to where a player has scored a goal. And this, I think, is perfect for our partners and perfect for our fans.
Thanks very much. What else have you been working on, perhaps? Are there other examples?
Yeah, I think a second example, what I would like to show are the Bundesliga matchback attacking zones. So the newest Bundesliga matchback, which we have launched a couple of weeks ago, where we showcase where teams focus on their offense. You see an example here of the Klassiker, Dortmund against Bayern, where with the attacking zones, we showcase where the offense of the regarding teams create the scoring opportunities. And here, in this case, an attacking zone is defined as an area on the field that a team uses to score a goal. And this will show the fans actually where a team is attacking, which side they're using more often, and where's the most opportunistic that they can score a goal. And we see really good engagement on our own products, great reactions from our fans on the social platforms, but also get very good feedback from our broadcaster. And I think it helps us really to accelerate our offering by becoming the most innovative sports league. And we foster, of course, of a best-in-class knowledge exchange with our colleagues from AWS and their innovation power. Thanks
very much. Really, really, really interesting. Thank you. Let's switch to Belgium, shall we? So before we chat to Guillaume about what he's been working on, let's see 11 in action.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our future. Future.
Welkom bij een gloednieuw voetbalseizoen.
Nous sommes littéralement au cœur de l'événement, au centre du terrain, ici au stade Jan Breydel.
Y'all please hold the applause to the end of the ceremony. Let's go! Look around us, there ain't no fences, just bridges to the ears of the listeners. On deck, take a swing, sharper senses, looking for a weakness in the system.
Future. 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 Future.
Fabulous. So, Guillaume, what have you done successfully in recent times to engage fans?
Yeah, I think first of all, congratulations to Bundesliga and what Alex just showed. I think it's really demonstrate that Bundesliga is one of the most innovative leagues on that front. And I think you have seen what we have been doing, at least a small part of it. I think we really try to go into that direction. And it's also a key difference here in Belgium from the past. So, introducing data, graphics makes really a key difference. A personal story was this weekend, we showed a penalty map. And the way it used to be shown is in 2D, and we did it in 3D. So really, putting the goal into, and I was so amazed. I didn't know that we were going to do this. And I see this penalty map is really great. And my son of 5 years said, what is a penalty map? What is it about? And, we start engaging in this. And it really shows even my son of 5 years old, what kind of emotion it can bring. So I think, it's really the future, and we are already there. And what we have been successful is, and I come back to what I said earlier, is having 100% of distribution, max coverage for the league. So before there were 3 platforms. So we managed to get 5. Plus, we boosted the digital exposure of the league. We are number 1 on social, meaning that we engage on a daily basis with the fans. So it's really, we are really proud of this. But then, of course, with COVID, we try to engage not only during the league, but also during the live. So I referred to the fact that people can ask questions, can vote. We have also an application which is called Watch Together, which allows fans and friends to watch a game together and interacting. And I think in those times, I think it's very, very relevant. We also have the esports rights, and there was the official ePro League competition, but what we launched is the eCup, which is a competition for amateurs. And if an amateur wins, he gets a chance to become professional. So, and we have 16 tournaments across the season. So it's also a nice way to engage. And last but not least, we try to be creative in fan engagement campaigns. So a good example is, for instance, the Panini campaign. I think everyone knows Panini, said the stickers of the players, and we made possible for fans to create their most iconic teams since decades. So it really worked crazy. So it was a very nice initiative. Another one which is not linked to Pro League it was for the Super Bowl. We sent a COVID-proof packaging to some fans, with tacos, with goodies, and we did the same for El Clasico. So we really try to be there for the fans next to, I would say, the traditional live broadcast.
Thank you. That really shows the remit of fan engagement. It's quite broad, isn't it? So one thing I like to ask folk is there any lessons that have been learnt from things that haven't quite gone to plan? I mean, we try a lot of things across football and across sport, really, kind of those products or services. I'm wondering if there's any things that didn't quite go right that we've learnt from, Guillaume. We'll start with you if we can. What didn't quite work that we know more about now?
Yeah, I think it's because one has been saying for years that, at least in some territories and in some part of the world, that OTT is booming and it's killing traditional TV. I think to some extent it's true, But what we experienced here, because for the first week, we didn't manage to get a distribution agreement with a major platform here. So meaning that for the first weekend, we knew that we would have a big inflow of fans to the digital platform, which we had, and we were ready. But what we noticed is a lot of fans were complaining about the streaming quality. And we were all set, it was nothing to do with 11. It was to do with the fact that, we could have now, if my kid is now playing a game and my wife is watching Netflix, it could influence the bandwidth at home. And basically that's what happened. And it really showed that even if we know that OTT is booming and in a way complementary to traditional behavior, it also means that we need to engage and we need to educate people on that front as well. And I think we learned a lot in August last year, and we really managed to then to be close to the fans who had some issues. And also we really realized that people come and then they go away, and it's okay. The traditional business is, we want to have as many customers as possible and we need to retain them. It's a linear business, but in digital, they just want to see one game and then they go away, and 1 month later, they will come back. So we know, we see that the base is quite volatile, but it's okay. And I think it's very good learning, at least for top management, to understand that, sometimes it's not flat, but it's volatile. But that we understand what people want to see and their behavior.
Thank you. Absolutely. Alex, from your point of view, have you learned anything from mistakes or from things that haven't gone quite to plan?
Yeah, I had a similar example in mind regarding, I would say, the challenges of infrastructure. So we had developed an app for fans inside the stadium together with our partner Immersive and Vodafone, where we combine two technologies, which is 5G, so the new broadband standard, and augmented reality. And we launched this in September 2019, I think, together with Vodafone. So you had an app, you had your phone in your hand, you could watch the game, and then in real time could see the statistics. So how fast is this player running? Could see historic stats of a player. So we launched this in September 2019. Wanted to develop the product further. We had a product roadmap set up, and then COVID came along, and we were not allowed. First, there were no games happening, so you could not test something at all. And then, due to the regulations here in Germany and the very restricted access to the stadiums, we're not allowed to go to the stadium and test it. And therefore, I think looking back into the last 12 months, we were not able to build on this early success. Additionally, I think the coverage of 5G is not there yet in Germany nor in Europe. But I think I'm a very optimistic person, so I think that all the infrastructure as well as getting back into the stadium in the future will turn out, and then we have, I think, a very exciting product which we will then further develop and improve.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing it. Let's finish by talking about the future. Alex, we're going to start with you. What else is coming down the line? Or to flip that on its head slightly, how do you see fan engagement developing, either specifically within the Bundesliga or more generally?
So I really like the trailer from Guillaume. So I think it was another tonality and another way of transporting a message. And what we are currently thinking about is how can we address those younger target groups. So the 6 to 14-year-old who are basically truly digital native. They don't know anything else. They have, I would say, very limited attention span. And I think where we just need to think differently than just watching a Bundesliga match or a football match for 90 minutes. And I think there you need to do stuff differently. So our organization currently is doing a lot of research currently to understand those target groups and trying to develop solutions and grow the Bundesliga brand. And we just launched TikTok in the last few weeks and had great success there, and added it to our portfolio. But we also are looking into launching an own product specifically for this target group in summer, where we can have dedicated messaging and a dedicated platform for those younger target group. So yeah, I would say in summary, so to engage those young fans who will at the end determine the success of the Bundesliga and our organization in the future is one of our core focus areas right now and in the upcoming month.
Thanks very much. Same question to you, Guillaume. Where is fan engagement going next?
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it starts with social. So that's why we put so many effort on social now. I think only here in Belgium, we have a crew of 10 young guys. I think, I'm 36. I should be the oldest one. So they're on average 21. And they are handling the social media of the biggest sports company in Belgium. So I think it's very important. And then I think the challenge is in the end also the business model, because we want to offer as many flexible options as possible, like pay-per-view, like day passes and so on. And what I really believe is also the fan experience in stadium. So like Alex said, so we ran a test two weeks ago, very very successful. I think it's very key. It will be linked to the 5G coverage, of course. And here during the playoff phase of the competition, will be the first one here in Belgium introducing virtual reality into the program. So it's now an innovative way, another innovative way to show engagement and to be innovative. And then it's basically keeping offering as many content as possible to the fans wherever they are and whenever they want. And I think that's our mission, by the fans for the fans.
Absolutely. We've just got time for one more question. Now, the SVG audience is made up of all sorts of parts of the sports production chain. And there'll be people on this, probably watching this now, who maybe don't work in product or services or marketing or licensing or rights, who are probably interested in what their role is in all of this. So I'm just wondering, if we could start with you, Alex, what can the rest of the broadcast chain, whether they're in the stadium, in the compound, in the studio, what can they do to help you produce the fan engagement products or services or output of the future?
Yeah, I think as Guillaume said before, so we want to offer our fans a truly personalized experience. And one use case we had over the last weeks was working with robotic cameras, so which focuses on one particular player, following him around for the whole match, and everywhere he turns, and then we use the tracking data to follow him around. And therefore, we are looking basically into a fully automated production. And at the end of our broadcast, maybe in the future, our fan can choose which camera perspective he would like to show and watch. And I think this could be pretty interesting. The other thing I have in mind, and this is, I think, very special due to the current situation where you don't have the fans in the stadiums, is the atmosphere players and coaches create themselves, because you can now for the first time hear them talking. Normally in the Bundesliga, you hear all this chants and there's no way to hear them. Right now, you can actually hear the coach shouting to a certain player that he should pass the ball. There's one great scene from the Klassiker where Edin Terzic was actually shouting to a player that he should pass the ball. I think this is, from my perspective, very, very interesting, especially for the younger target groups who want to actually get a different story around the game, and would be fascinating to invest more time into this topic.
Absolutely, thank you. And Guillaume, last word to you. Is there anything that the rest of the broadcast chain can do to help you produce new fan experiences?
I think the beauty of our industry is that the value chain is quite short. And you have a good example here. You have Bundesliga, you have 11 sports. Bundesliga owns the rights through the clubs. So it means that if we are able to work in a very close partnership, I think we could do a lot of new things. And we have been doing a lot already, but I really believe that, the key is there. Because then, you have the competition, you have the league, the clubs, then you have the distributors, and then you have the fans. So it's very short. And the technology, of course. So I think it's really the beauty of it, and also a big challenge. But I hope we have shown, Alex and myself, a lot of good examples, and not only good examples, but also very innovative examples of what we have been doing, and also the direction we are going to. And giving some, insights into what we both Bundesliga and 11 Sports will do in the future.
You absolutely have, and unfortunately we've run out of time though. But you've certainly shared some great thoughts and some insight, and thank you very much to both of you for your time. But for now, it's back to Natalie.